Hello, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services sales executives for our video message of the week. All right, this week's message is entitled, How Smart and Solid Are Your Escrows? All right, let me be straight here. You know, you work so hard for your clients and for your business to put transactions into escrow and move forward. What a tragedy it is for all clients and certainly for your business if those transactions don't close. So what we need to do as professionals in our industry is make sure we're doing everything we can do to ensure the best percentage closes at all times. We all know that there will be issues that arise in a transaction and sometimes issues that you really cannot resolve that are totally out of your control. Great, let's keep those to a minimum. But I will tell you, when we're honest with ourselves, there's things that we can prevent if we do certain things right up front, and that's what today's video message is all about. So let me jump right in here. Okay, one aspect that we must start with is a client expectation interview. Now, I said client, so it works for buyers and sellers. If you're not starting off setting the expectation of how you work, how a transaction is going to go from the very beginning, let me be blunt, don't complain when they don't do what you expect them to do. You need to put those expectations right in their face, in writing, and make sure there's clarity so they understand, because let's face it, they don't understand in many cases, and guess what? They're not in a position where they have all the information to understand. So we've got to share that with them. I know some things seem very ordinary and easy for us because we're professionals in the business. But when we're dealing with outside people, even people within our industry, maybe different vendors, they don't understand all the aspects. And we certainly can't always depend on another sales executive at another organization to understand those types of things. So what are some of the things we can do? Well, number one is this expectation interview. Please, if you learn anything today out of this video, never ever skip the expectation video or expectation interview. If you do and do not set those expectations, I promise you, most of the time, you will be frustrated at some point during that transaction, and maybe that's one that does not close. So let me give you some thought process of what goes into this interview process. One, you're talking about lending, them getting a loan. For those clients who are thinking about getting a loan, there's a lot of aspects to it. Doesn't mean you have to do it personally, but you bring in, New American Funding, who can share with them, okay, all the ins and outs of that transaction, of getting a loan, and lay specific groundwork that supports it. Appraisals and sales prices. I hear this all the time. Oh, we had an appraisal issue. Guess what? We need to set that right up front. Think about it. If you're priced too high over market, clearly I'm concerned that the seller really understands, okay, that there can be an appraisal issue. And I know you may be mentioning it, but I want you to give it more thought. Are you doing everything to make sure they understand that even if many times we get the offer we want, because a buyer says, I'm paying that, but they're getting a loan, in that example, guess what? It still may not close because we'll run into an appraisal issue down the road. Okay, specifically as prices slow and do not continue to escalate, we can deal with more appraisal issues unless we're sure that we're pricing properties correctly. How about inspections? How inspections are going to work as you go through this process. How about costs and repairs as it pertains to inspections? What is going to be the responsibility of the seller? What is going to be the responsibility of the buyer? Are they clear on that? Have you basically laid groundwork for the future that they're comfortable knowing that they may have to pay $1,000, $1,500, okay, to make sure everything is in good working order? Do they understand that everything needs to be in good working order? Okay, to properly sell, and all systems need to be working. May sound simple to you as a professional, but I promise you this needs to be reiterated so you know up front you won't have an issue. How about a home warranty plan? For those of you who are not using a home warranty plan, I don't get it. It is so key. And not only a home warranty plan, but put it on the listing side. We already have, through Home Security of America, they give us the listing opportunity to cover that during the listing time, protecting our sellers. It is a super opportunity for us to utilize that protection to minimize the downside for our clients and keep that transaction moving forward. Other agents. Enough said. When you're dealing with other agents, you don't know their training level. They may be good people, but they don't have all the information that many times they should have, or they don't interact the same way you do. I'm being very politically correct here. So the reality of that is you got to lay some groundwork for the other agent as well. Your communication updates. How are you going to communicate on an ongoing basis? So your clients are very comfortable that they know, guess what? You don't text. You're not someone who really depends on texts. You're not comfortable because you don't want to interrupt your client. You certainly don't want to be texting when you're driving. All these different things. So you'd rather stay away from that and have that log in an email. Do they know that? Have you communicated that? So they don't feel that you're just not getting back to them in a quick enough fashion. Lastly, something that was a great tip that was given to me by Francesca Gilbert. And I'm going to send out an example of the one that she uses. And it's a welcome email, okay, to all parties. This can include the other agent, include the vendors, title, lending, even transaction coordinator that's involved in the transaction once the property goes into escrow. And when it goes into escrow, sending that welcome email out to everyone, the whole group, so everyone knows the flow. Everyone sets the tone that we have deadlines to meet because we're going to close on time. So everyone steps up to do their job. They get the timing and how this is going to work. And everyone knows what they're responsible to do. Look, guys, we work so hard. You work so hard every single day for your clients. And I know they appreciate it. Well, let's make sure we only work those escrow one time and so they close exactly when they should. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.